Welcome back to Hillbilly Pillars. I recently turned 50, and to celebrate, my two older brothers and a friend that goes way back to high school with me rendezvoused in Tulsa to attend the Bob Dylan Center and the Woody Guthrie Center and to throw down on our top 25 favorite albums of our lifetime. As a little side note, as a Bob Dylan guy, the Bob Dylan Center was unbelievable. I actually had to go twice. The first time it was so much and so impactful that it was kind of overwhelming. It was hard for me to process all of it. So I went back the day before I flew out and spent about 4 hours there. And there's so much awesome stuff there. I think you don't even need to you can be a casual and still get so much from it. I mean, that's Bob's career. I mean, it was really cool. But anyway, for this video, in putting together my lifetime favorite 25 albums, I kept coming across this phenomenon where there would be an album that I felt would have been in that top 25 if not for one song. And as I kept coming across this, I started forming a little list in my mind. So that eventually led to me doing this video. These are major artists, most of them revered as classic albums. And my thing is, like, I love these records. I don't own records that I don't really like. I don't buy albums on vinyl just to do it. This is a curated collection that I have. It's the ones that I hold dear, and I want them in this format because it's the way I intend to listen to them. You know, the whole benefit of the vinyl, the stop and holding it in my hands and all that kind of stuff that I love so much about it. So anyway, I've picked these 5 albums. I'm gonna, I think, ruffle some feathers here. But I think it's an interesting thing. I see this come up often in other accounts I follow where people talking and they'll be, oh, well, there's that one song, but this is a fantastic album. So here's 5 albums to me that probably would be in my top 25 favorite all time if it wasn't for one song. We're going to start off with probably the least regarded album, but certainly not artist. And that is Bruce Springsteen, The Ghost of Tom Joad. I love this record. Like I said, I'm 50. And the first releases when I was all the way in on Bruce were Human Touch and Lucky Town. And then this album, and I listened to this non-stop. But there is one track, and I think if you're a Bruce guy, you can probably figure out which one it is, and that is the closer. My Best Was Never Good Enough. It is a song made entirely of cliches, and I can see what Bruce was going for, trying to end this like real heavy record on a lighter note, kind of sends you out, but it just misses the mark for me. And yeah, it's just one of those, for me, and the closer is very important. It's like what you're left with when you're done listening to an album. And if it wasn't on there and it would be Galveston Bay, it would end with, perfect. I think that would be a great closing note. But to me, it's just a miss. Yeah, so the first one I'm going to choose is The Ghost of Tom Joad. The song I would drop is My Best Was Never Good Enough, which is kind of ironic because it wasn't good enough for The Ghost of Tom Joad. So there's that. The next one, reiterate, I love these records, so go easy on me. This would, I feel like, for sure been in my top 25. But, asterisk, sorry to do this to you, man. Jason Isbell, Southeastern. What much more can be said about this phenomenal record? I think it's exemplary in a really specific and special way, and that is that other than saying it's a singer-songwriter record, there's nothing like it. I don't know songs that sound like Relatively Easy or Different Days. They're uniquely and wholly Isbell. And just a power-packed, impactful, powerful stay with you record, except for one track. And I don't hate the track, and it's a live staple, but it does throw off the record vibe to me, and that is Super 8. Once again, I've seen him live a few times. The Super 8's a great live song, and I could understand how balancing in that more kind of fun rocking song could work, but for me it doesn't, in the flow of the album. So this goes from an all-timer to me to not breaking my top 25 because of the song Super 8. And I'll say the same thing as I did for Ghost of Tom Joad. I think if you just drop it, you don't need to rearrange any other song or add any other song or anything like that. Just drop it. And this is more of a monster than it already is for me. So, all right. No sacred cows left unslaughtered. Whew. Harvest, Neil Young. I mean, this could be a top 5 record, if not for this one song. And I think that's Neil. Neil does what Neil wants to do. And I think that's even in crafting albums. I mean, he's got a lot of classic records that are all-time greats, but I don't think there's a lot of specific thought given to like order and sequencing and what he does or doesn't put in there. They're hodgepodgey, and sometimes that hodgepodge is perfect. But on this, and you know, don't throw fruit, but to me, it's A Man Needs a Maid. It's slow, drawn out, and the orchestral nature of it is just off from the rest of the record, to me. And I just can't imagine where this record would fall if it didn't have that song. Now I will say on that one, it's not quite as much as the other ones. I don't love the song anyway, but you know, that's all right. A lot of great records I have maybe have a song that's not one I love, but it fits in the flow of the record, and that's cool. But man, oh man, Neil Young, Harvest. If it didn't have A Man Needs a Maid. That leaves 2. I'm going to step on my own guy's feet here, and this is when it's really going to get funky, all right? You're going to know that I'm not messing around with this list. This is my guy, Blonde on Blonde. This could be number 1, but I'm one of those guys. Rainy Day Women, number 12 and number 35 should not be number 1 on Blonde on Blonde. It just shouldn't be. I would say maybe more than the other ones. This one, if it was put somewhere else in the album, maybe. But y'all know how many times I've dreamed. I'm probably going to get this wrong because I'm on the spot here. Nope, I'm right. If Blonde on Blonde started with Pledging My Time, guys, gals, come on, man. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, so, I mean, I couldn't imagine my life without Blonde on Blonde. But as far as its ranks in my upper echelon, Rainy Day Women holds it back. And that's being a guy I've seen Bob live 40 to 50 times. And the greatest show I've ever seen live in my life, which was 95 Dylan in Biloxi. To me, that's his best tour. And that's including all the insaneness with the band and all that kind of stuff. He was on fire in 95. Go check out any 95 tape. And he closed the show with it. It was the best show I've ever seen. And, you know, it's kind of fun, raunchy version of it, of course. But, yeah, just Rainy Day Women, number 12 and 35. I'd have to drop it. Sorry, Bob. And that leaves 1. And, oh, boy. Same thing. This could be a top 10. I limited my artists on our list. I called the shots because it was my birthday to 3. Kind of jokingly the Bob rule. But it ended up being, for me, being the Van Morrison rule. He got 3 albums in. And this one for sure would have been one of those 3, if not for one song. And I think that this is a really unique take on my behalf, and not trying to be hipster, but we've got Van Morrison, Moondance. And the song that I would drop is the title track, Moondance. Moondance is Moondance. Cool, jazz-inflected song. sets apart too much from the record. It's the one kind of sore thumb thing that stands out and doesn't sound like anything else on the record. And that would be the one I would drop. I think this, I already adore Moondance, and it's an all-time record for me already. Not quite top 25 material. If I didn't have the artist thing, it might be. I would be so handful of artists laden on that. That's why I had to limit it to 3. But yeah, there's something about the title track, and I just look at the flow, and it would just be Stone Me, Crazy Love, Caravan, Into the Mystic. Oh man, yeah. I mean, once again, kind of like Blonde on Blonde, this could be top 3. But that title track throws it off. And maybe it's a little bit of a victim of, before my Van Morrison fandom, you know, there was Moondance was pretty prevalent on rock radio and stuff, which I'm old enough to have you know, ingested before the internet allowed you to pick and choose what you wanted to listen to. But yeah, so yeah, I would drop Moondance off Moondance as I'm saying it. I'm like laughing. I guess I'd better retitle the album then, huh? But yeah, I thought this was a fun experiment. More than anything, I would love to hear some albums that you guys have where it's like, man, that would be an all-timer for me, except for this one track. Thanks for watching.